What we loved and hated about Utopia of the Seas. Utopia of the Seas is the world's second largest cruise ship and Royal Caribbean's largest Oasis class ship. Was it too big for me? And is this mega ship for you? After 3 sailings on the Utopia of the Seas, I'm going to share with you what I loved and some things that I didn't love so much. Plus, make sure you stay to the end to see which Royal Caribbean mega ship is right for you, Icon, Wonder, or Utopia. Hey y'all, it's debarkation day, and I have to say it was another great debarkation day. It was another smooth process. Now, it was a little different this time than it was the last few times. This time we didn't get off at the promenade. We had to go around to the dining room, but it was still pretty efficient process. And I have to say the boarding process has never been an issue. Always smooth boarding on Utopia of the Seas. Now, what was it I loved about Utopia? Now, one of the first things that I loved about Utopia was Izumi in the Park. Izumi in the Park is right there in Central Park, and I absolutely loved it. It is an upcharge, but it does not cost very much. But our favorite thing there was the ice cream. So it definitely ranked up there at the top. Central Park was one of my favorite neighborhoods to visit, and it was just so calming and relaxing. You forget you're on a party ship when you're over here at Central Park. So definitely Izumi in the Park made the top of my list for Utopia of the Seas. Now, yes, I did love the food on Utopia of the Seas. Otherwise, I wouldn't have tried to do that crazy food challenge to see how much of that complimentary food on Utopia of the Seas I could eat. If you didn't check it out, definitely check out my blog where I tried to eat as much of the complimentary food as I could on Utopia. But something else I was impressed with, I didn't eat there, but I was really impressed with it, and it was Giovanni. So Giovanni's is number 2 here on my list, and it is a brand new 2-story restaurant here on Utopia of the Seas. Now, it did take over the Wonderland that you may be familiar with on Wonder of the Seas, but I love the spacing. It is gorgeous in here. Now, we did have a drink upstairs because upstairs is just a bar area where you can sit, lounge, have a drink, but down below is the restaurant, and they do have a patio area here at Giovanni's. I'm not quite sure I'm sold on that one because it is so hot here in Florida, and I feel like that's not ideal to sit out on the patio when it's really hot and humid outside. Plus, I don't think they really thought about the layout of the patio because when you're sitting in some of those tables, you're almost right there at the balconies for those other people overlooking the boardwalk. So you could sit there and eat dinner while somebody is on their balcony just sitting there watching you. I don't know. What do you think about Giovanni's? I probably would bypass the balcony area, but I love the restaurant. It is so open, and when you're paying money for a specialty dining, you don't want to feel like you're crammed in there and sitting right up next to somebody else. So good job, Royal Caribbean. I think they did a great job here with Giovanni's. And once again, Royal Caribbean really outdid themselves with the entertainment here on Utopia of the Seas. So number 3 on my list is the entertainment. There is so many things that you can do here as far as entertainment activities here on Utopia of the Seas, but they have some great shows. The 3 main shows that they have are Utopia, All In, and Aqua 82. I went to go and see all of these shows, and I have to say I was really impressed and really enjoyed it. Make sure you check out my entertainment activities video if you want to see a little bit more about it. Royal Caribbean definitely stepped up their game here with their entertainment. I loved every bit of their entertainment here. Now, next on my list is the Pesky Parrot. Brand new to Utopia of the Seas and Royal Caribbean, and it replaced the Bionic Bar. So I was a little, wasn't so sure about it because I really enjoyed the Bionic Bar over on the Wonder of the Seas. But I have to say, Pesky Parrot was a great little bar. Not only had one drink here, forgot to take a picture of it, but the majority of the time, as you all know, I have Prime status in the casino. So the majority of the time, I would grab me a drink and I'd come sit over here at Pesky Parrot. I loved how they took the patio area out into the promenade. It is a very nice place to sit and relax. So if it's crowded inside of Pesky Parrot, you can come sit out here on the promenade, still in those tropical little chairs. I love the parrots that they have hanging from above. So it's a great little tropical vibe. I mentioned in one of my videos, it kind of gives that Key West feel. So I really enjoyed Pesky Parrot here on the promenade. So that was one of my favorites as well. Now, just across from Pesky Parrot was Bell and Barley, and I did sneak in there a few times and listen to the live music in there. So that is the next thing here on my list is the live music on Utopia of the Seas. There is so much live music here on Utopia that you will have your choice of what type of music you want to listen to. You can go to Bell and Barley, you can go to the music hall. Central Park is one of my favorites, but they have live music all over the place for all different types of genres. And live music is really what millennials like. So Royal Caribbean is actually gearing Utopia of the Seas towards millennials for their biggest weekend party ship. But let me tell you, it's not just for millennials. The rest of us and above enjoy the Utopia of the Seas as well, because there is just so many different types of things that you can do around the ship. You can listen to some country music over in the mason jar. You can listen to some pop music over in music hall. You have your choice of the different types of music, genre, party vibe, relaxing vibe over in Central Park. So there is really something for everyone. Okay, and I have to say, after just getting off the Utopia of the Seas, did you see last week's vlog of my Junior Suite video? Yes, that's going to make my list as well. I loved the Junior Suite. It was really nice. Now, I did stay in a Junior Suite on an XL class on Carnival. It was really nice as well. But I have to say, I was really impressed with Utopia of the Seas Junior Suite. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. The amenities here, you know, I love that coastal kitchen. The coastal kitchen was great. So if you have a Junior Suite, you get to eat there for dinner. Now, if you are a suite guest, then you do get to eat there all day long. And you do get access to the suite sun deck upstairs as well. So many amenities here. I would like to stay in the Grand Suite. As I told y'all, I was so impressed by the Junior Suite, but I really loved it. And all the rooms were really great because we stayed in 2 balcony rooms and then the Junior Suite. And we didn't have any complaints by any of the rooms. They were great rooms all around. Now, along with that, we had an amazing room steward. So shout out to our room steward. We really hated saying goodbye to him this morning. Let's take a look.
Thank you.
Say hi.
Hi. Please watch Tiffany's channel, okay? But if you like cruising, this is the channel, right? Well, thank you.
Y'all, he's the best room steward ever.
Well, thank you. One of the best. No.
No, they're all great.
Okay,
but
well, thank you.
thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Oh, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
visit the channel and then you will love it for sure.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Mark. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Now, something you might also be asking is, well, what about the Royal Railway? Unfortunately, we didn't eat there, so I can't give a full opinion of the Royal Railway in a full review. But we did go out by there. I talked to many guests that got a chance to eat there over our 3 sailings, and they really enjoyed it. Everybody that I have talked to who have been in the Royal Railway and got a chance to go to the Royal Railway Station really enjoyed it. They loved the experience. Now, I will say this is more of an experience than a nice fancy dinner, although it is a nice fancy dinner. If you're just wanting that foodie, nice dinner, I personally would recommend Chops Grill or 150 Central Park. Here, you're really paying for that experience. And everybody I talked to said they really enjoyed the experience. Now, right now, it is the Wild West experience, but they are expecting to come out with some other experiences, such as like a wine tasting. I may have to go and try to do that one. I had to get on a waiting list to try to get in there, and I didn't make it. But hey, it's okay. We got a chance to enjoy some other really great food around the ship. Okay, now what did I don't want to say hate, but didn't like so much on the Utopia of the Seas? Well, I have to say the first one, and I've already talked about it in one of my vlogs, was the fact that I couldn't charge my phone next to my bed. There was a USB-C and an outlet. The USB-C wasn't working, or so we thought, when we had our first room, and we had one of the engineers come on and they looked at it. They said it is working now, but it's not supposed to charge your phone. And they said that none of the USB-C ports next to the beds are meant to charge your phone in the rooms. So I felt like that was a little bit of a fail on their part, because I like to charge my phone. So I prefer if there's a USB or a USB-C outlet next to my bed, that it could charge my phone. I could do that on Icon, but no worries, I dealt with it. There is also an outlet next to your bed that I just used my little charger block and was able to charge my phone that way. But I just felt like, why put a USB-C next to your bed if you can't charge your phone? Now, number 2 that I wasn't really quite impressed with was the solarium. Now, you know from my Wonder of the Seas video, I was always in the solarium. I love the solarium. I love anywhere I can sit and just relax, read a book, and just perch. And I could do that in the solarium, and I could do that over here in their solarium as well. But I really enjoyed on the Wonder of the Seas being able to get in the wading pools. But over here on Utopia of the Seas, I felt like the pools are a little smaller, and I wasn't impressed with how they had the chairs. They were kind of like stacked, like in rows. So if you didn't get there in enough time or earlier in the morning, especially if it's a sea day, if you're on a 4-day, then the chairs in the front looking out at the ocean were taken. So here you are sitting in the chairs behind. So I don't really want to sit and look at somebody's head while I'm trying to look out at the ocean. Now, a lot of times people did kind of move the chairs around, but the pool wasn't really, it wasn't as big as you see on the Wonder of the Seas. So I wasn't really impressed with the wading pools on the solarium on Utopia, but I made the best of it. And let me tell you, there's plenty of places that you can sit and relax on the Utopia of the Seas. Now, something else, and I feel like I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this one, and that is the destination elevators. The destination elevators is something they brought over from Icon of the Seas. And what that is, if you're not familiar, you have like a kiosk outside the elevators. Instead of pushing up and down, you just push your deck floor that you want to go to, and it tells you what elevator to go to, and your elevator will be there, or so you thought. There were many times that we were standing there waiting for our elevator, and another elevator came and went 3 times while we're waiting on the elevator we're supposed to go to. Us and along with other passengers were like, well, maybe we should play elevator roulette. Let's just get any elevator that comes open and go and see where we go. Because yes, it didn't feel like it was very efficient here on the Utopia of the Seas. They weren't real quick. You felt like sometimes some elevators were come like that and you're having to run to it, and sometimes you're waiting forever. So I did feel like that was a little bit of a downfall there from Icon of the Seas when they kept hyping up that they were bringing over that great Icon feature. It wasn't as efficient as Icon's elevators, is what I felt. Now, we did go to the boardwalk a lot and just enjoyed the boardwalk and sat and relaxed. And one of the things that we did over on the boardwalk, Mark had to go and play some of the arcade games in Playmakers. We enjoyed Playmakers. We didn't eat in there. We have eaten before in Playmakers. We enjoy Playmakers. But I'll have to say this one is making my list of not really liking so much, because Playmakers is kind of outdoors here on Utopia of the Seas, and it is once again hot here in Florida. It is hot, and you are traveling to more hot destinations. So I don't really want to sit, eat wings, and drink a beer when it's kind of muggy and sticky outside. I like Playmakers on Icon because it was indoors with that air condition. I believe Mariner of the Seas was also indoors. So I like that aspect of it a little better. When we were over in the arcade section, it was more indoors. That's where the air conditioning was. There were people there enjoying it. There were lots of people still enjoying it. But for me, it was hot. And when I'm having a drink, I like to have a cool breeze coming through or be able to be indoors with the air condition. And it wasn't always like that, especially if you're at the port. If you're at the port, you don't have a breeze coming through. So Playmakers, for my opinion, I think it's better when it's all indoors. What do you think? One of the things that so many people ask me about when I am on any of these mega ships, what are the crowds like? Is it overcrowded? They assume everything is overcrowded. You got 8,000 plus people on these ships. And well, let's talk about it. That is one of the things here on my list for Utopia that I wasn't quite impressed with, and that is the crowd flow. Now, some areas had good crowd flow. It didn't feel overcrowded, but I will say around the pool areas, especially when you're leaving deck 15, when you're leaving like the Windjammer and you're walking out towards the pool areas, the crowd flow was not always great. It did kind of pile up there in that doorway. I mentioned this in one of my videos because the spare tire, in my opinion, is just not in a good location. It is right there at the door, and there is just so much crowded traffic trying to come in and out, and it can't spread out because the spare tire's right there, and then you got people over here sitting and relaxing at the pool, and then you're walking around to the Lime and Coconut down by the pool, and a lot of that is just kind of crowded over there as well. So the crowd flow overall, in my opinion, didn't impress me compared to the Icon of the Seas. I hardly ever felt that ship was crowded. So that was a very big positive on Icon of the Seas. But over here on Utopia of the Seas, sometimes you can start to feel the crowds, especially when you're over at the pools. So I don't feel that the crowd flow was as efficient here on the Utopia. All right. Now, between Icon, Wonder, and Utopia, which mega ship is right for you? I have to be honest, I wasn't really thrilled with the idea of Utopia of the Seas. I wanted to go on it just because it was brand new, but I'm not big on weekend cruises. I like a long cruise, so I don't feel rushed and I don't feel like I have to get everything done in such a short amount of time. And on Utopia of the Seas, I don't really feel like you have enough time to do everything. Like you can't eat everything and do all the shows and see all the shows and activities. You can't go around and do everything on the ship and still relax and still enjoy it and be out at all the parties. You're going to have a hard time doing that. And Royal Caribbean knows this, and they're hoping that you're going to come back because you couldn't do everything in a 3-day weekend. Now, that didn't make my list of what I didn't like. Let me know, would that make your list of not being able to do everything and see everything on the cruise? So if you are wanting a weekend getaway, if you live nearby Port Canaveral, if you're a Floridian, I say go for it. It's a great ship. It's a beautiful ship. We loved it. It's not just for millennials like Royal Caribbean is gearing toward. There are things for everybody to enjoy this ship. We really enjoyed this ship. I will probably go back again because, as you know, I live over here by Port Canaveral. But if you don't live near Port Canaveral and you have to fly in, and that is something that we always have to think about when we're planning our cruises, is the transportation to the cruise. Is it worth your while and the money to fly out here for a 3-day or even a 4-day cruise? And if you say yes, then hey, that's great. But maybe consider doing like a back-to-back. That way maybe you get more for your money if you're flying out here, or if you're flying to Orlando, maybe do something in Orlando and then go over to Port Canaveral, which is just an hour away, and do a weekend cruise there. So that's just a way that maybe you can make the most of your money if you're flying into Florida. If you don't want just a weekend cruise, the next two, Icon and Wonder, those are 7-day cruises. So I am more geared to want to do a 7-day cruise because that's what I like. Now me, once again, I told you, you have to think about transportation. I live over here by Port Canaveral. That's where Wonder of the Seas is for now. It's going to move and it's going to go to Miami when Star of the Seas comes next year. So I'm going to miss it. But I like both Icon and Wonder for the fact that they are 7-day cruises. But which one is best for you? Well, Wonder of the Seas has so much to offer, but it doesn't have the hideaway area for adults. It has the solarium instead. So you have to kind of consider what it is that you're wanting to do on these ships. Icon has great crowd flow. Icon is a beautiful ship. It has so many amenities and features. And my favorite thing there is the food. Go to Surfside. I don't care if you have kids or not, go to Surfside. Surfside has some great food. We loved going over to Surfside and eating food over there. But once again, you have to kind of consider, do you want to go to Miami or do you want to go to Port Canaveral? Now, also, in my opinion, I feel like price factor should be the second thing that you think about, or maybe it's the first thing that you think about, but it should be up there at the top. I will not go back on the Icon again until that price starts coming down again. Now, I did do the Icon when I had a casino offer. I'm not getting any more casino offers right now. So unless I get another casino offer for a really good deal, I'm not paying those outrageous fees right now. So maybe those fees will come back down once Star of the Seas comes out. But that's my opinion. What do you think? Are you wanting to pay for the Icon of the Seas? But either way, I think Icon and Wonder are some great cruise ships. You just really have to kind of weigh it out. Which location do you want to go to and the price? Now you let me know, which one of these 3 cruise ships, Utopia, Wonder, or Icon, would you want to go on? And if you've enjoyed any of these, don't forget to hit that subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye for now.